Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So in front of us, we have the 2023 Ford Bronco Everglades with the Sasquatch package. It's finished off in azure gray metallic. MSRP is right around $53,000. We have an incredibly off-road focused SUV that's also very good out on the road, as you'll see once we take it out on the road. But powering this Bronco, this has the 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder. It's paired to that 10-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 275 horsepower, 315 pound-feet of torque. That power is primarily sent to the rear wheels. However, this does have the four-wheel drive system. It weighs in right around 4,800 pounds. 0 to 60 can happen in around 7 seconds. Top speed is 106. And as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 18 miles per gallon in the city and 17 out on the highway. This vehicle is primarily focused for off-roading, so it has a lot of off-roading capabilities with some good MPG for the on-road performance. Now let's start up front. As part of the Everglades package, you get this massive winch. It's integrated into the steel front bumper. Really cool to see that. And we do have the steel front bumper, of course. That is also removable, so you can take some of these out if you want a little bit more clearance, but this has an incredibly good approach angle already. But you can see part of that tire as well as the Bilstein tuned suspension. There's steel skid plates up underneath, and this has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals nicely integrated into this massive grille. We have a retro vibe paying tribute to the original Broncos. Very cool to see. Most of the Broncos that I've seen have white Bronco letters. This one is blacked out with the gray grille. And then there's a bulge at the back of the hood. Very nice lines coming down both sides. There's even these accessory points both at the front of the hood and then up at the top of the windshield. So as you can tell right now, the roof rack is installed there, but you can also put a wire all the way down to here. So if you're off-roading, that can take some of the branches away from the vehicle, and you can use those for other purposes as well. But a very aggressive front end for the all-new Bronco. And a part of that Everglades package, this gets the 35-inch tires with the 17-inch dark carbon gray wheels. Very nice design to them. We have the high clearance fender flares as well. And then even the Everglades badge just behind that with Sasquatch hiding in the bottom there. And this even has a factory installed snorkel. So this can wade through just over 36 inches of water. It has almost 12 inches of ground clearance. Very good approach, departure, and breakover angles to pretty much have no issues while you are off-road. Now we do have these steel sliders in the lower section. It looks like you could remove the step, so you can go off-road without the step and then put them back on for daily driving. This has the hardtop roof with that roof rack system, of course. And then in back, third brake light is just above the full-size spare tire with the wiper blade. There's the LED taillights, steel rear bumper as well. This does have a high clearance exhaust over on the passenger side, so it's tucked up nicely. And you can even remote start this. So let's lock it, double tap that button, and it will fire right up. You can also double tap that to shut it off as needed. And then this can even tow right around 3,500 pounds. Not all that much, but it is nice if you have some smaller items that you need to hook up. Now, as we swing open this gate, it's not all that heavy, even with that full-size spare. We can lift up the glass from there, and then you have a good bit of storage. This is an SUV, very practical for using it as an SUV, of course. There's tie-down hooks that you can use as needed. Even a little bit of storage with some of the spare tire toolkits. You can even put some wet items in here, as there is a drain plug in the lower section. And then of course you can fold down the back seats to give you that much more interior space. And then super easy with that two-step process to close that up. Now as we work our way to the back seating area, we have a nice design for this interior with all of the white and tan colors there. There's a net in the lower section. You can also remove the doors and the roof. There's a lift point at the bottom there that you can use as an extra handle when you lift this door off of its hinges. And then for the interior, nice two-tone design. We have a grab handle too, so it makes it easy to jump up into this truck. Now, there's also drain plugs in all four corners of this vehicle. We have the more durable floor liners here, but if you get water or something in here, just pop that and it will all drain out. Pretty neat to see. There's also this system just behind it where you can attach some accessories. There's nets down below. We have the window adjustments and some auxiliaries. And with the hardtop roof, we have the insulation just to make it a little bit less windy, less road noise with the hardtop that this has. Honestly, a lot of space. At 5'10", I can't complain. It's very, very roomy. Now we also have the exterior keypad, so you can use that to lock this as needed. And then door panel is just like the rear. We have that lift system down below, and then unlock and lock is also there. And then two-tone design for these front seats. They are manual adjusting, so we have all of those controls down below. You do get a grab handle for your front seat passengers as well. And then we have the leather wrapped steering wheel, cruise control settings on this left side, along with the volume and steering assist. And then on the right side, there's tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands, and all of these are for the gauge cluster. So let's fire this back up, and we can take a look at this gauge cluster, where miles per hour is on the left side along with the engine temperature. And then looking at the digital screen now, we can go through a lot of information. So as you can see right now, there's fuel, miles per hour, the tach, and then if you use the arrows on the right side, you can scroll through a lot of information. So just depends on what you would like to see. You can quickly pull all of that up. Now if you go into the menu, my view was what we were just looking at. So you can customize all of these depending on what you would like to see. There's also trip and fuel. You can go into off-road, so you can monitor everything here. And then you can go into navigation, phone, audio, and settings. So just depending on what you'd like to see, a really nice size for that gauge cluster. Left side, all of the headlight and dimmer switches. There's the e-brake too. One air vent tucked away nicely. Lots of storage in the dash. There's even an area here where you could attach some accessories so you can mount items on the top of the dash. And with the Everglades, you get the front locker, you get a rear locker, you also get trail turn assist. This makes your turning radius much shorter when you are on the trails, and traction control is also located up top. Now with the massive touchscreen system, everything in the lower section is fixed, so you can easily get into all of this. I wouldn't say there's a ton of technology. You can get some other trim levels that will have more. We do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but we do have some nice features that you can go into, including the split screen. So you can also pull up info on this far right side and still keep info on the left. Really nice size for this model. Now underneath that, power and volume for the radio, there's tuning, also the engine start stop, and then all the climate adjustments and the heated seats. Everything is laid out very nicely. A little bit of storage with some auxiliaries down below. There's a grab handle for your passenger, 2 cup holders. We put this into reverse. There's the backup camera. There's even the top-down view. So if you're backing up to a trailer, you have that angle. Drive and manual. You can even use plus and minus if you need to. Now with this rotary dial right here, we have the GOAT modes. GOAT stands for goes over any terrain. We also have the 2 and 4-wheel drive selectors and trail control, which is basically cruise control for off-road. But with that rotary dial, we can go through several different driving modes depending on the terrain that you are in. You have 3 for on-road, and then you have 4 for off-road. Really cool to see that amount of technology, and it will also put it into 4-wheel drive depending on the mode that you use. We have the side mirror adjustments along with the window controls, and even a lockable center armrest where you can place some items. And then the glove box has a good amount of space. Bronco is also stamped into the airbag cover. Now up top, several auxiliaries, so if you're hooking up exterior lights, compressors, you have somewhere to place them. And look at visibility from the driver's seat. It is so open feeling. You really don't have any visibility issues. But let's go ahead and get this Bronco out on the road. And in sport mode, second gear, here we go. Honestly, not that bad for shifting myself. It's not something that you're really going to be doing a lot in the Bronco, but if you need to hold the gear off-road or you're towing, you can use those as needed. One thing I will mention too, you can also go with a 6-speed manual transmission. Actually, it's a 7-speed because it does have the crawl gear. So you have 2 different transmission options that you can go with as well. So now that we are behind the wheel of roughly $50,000 for this Bronco, it goes all the way up to around 85 to 90 for the Bronco Raptor. You have a huge price discrepancy depending on the trim level that works best for you. But for this Everglades, we have a nice interior, as you've already seen, and we do have the smallest engine, but still has some good pep to it to get up and move. But I really like the Bronco. I like the visibility that you get. Everything is kind of squared off. We have a pretty steep rake to this windshield, very thin pillars too. You're very high up too. It's an SUV, but it's almost like a lifted SUV. Obviously we have the 35s and everything, so it is a bit taller, but you sit up very high, which is nice. And it's not that big of an SUV either, so you have quite a small footprint to it as far as maneuverability goes, not only in parking lot situations, but even taking it off-road. It's something that's pretty compact, so it's definitely easy to drive. And I can see the appeal for both this and the Jeep Wrangler. They are just fun SUVs. It's not something that I would say is a long distance vehicle. You can absolutely travel in the Bronco, in the Wrangler, and go long distances. But in my personal opinion, this is more of a city type of vehicle. On back roads like I'm on right now, it's something just to have fun with on some shorter distances. So the wind noise, things like that, it's not something that's going to annoy you over time because you're not driving it long enough for that to happen. But it's definitely fun to drive, very composed on the road, and it's a fun toy is what I'll call it. It's definitely a good daily. You could absolutely daily it. But very cool. You have so many different options. You can get a soft top too if you'd like. It's a little bit easier to flip up. However, I don't think you can do the roof rack system with the soft top. So you can get a bunch of accessories and options just depending on what suits you best for your Ford Bronco. But that is going to wrap it up for this 2023 Bronco Everglades. Make sure you guys subscribe. Stay tuned for the off-roading video in this Everglades, as well as check out the rest of the Bronco content that we have. Give it a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.